Everyone is intuitive, but intuition is like a muscle. You can grow it by exercising it. With practice, you'll be able to easily discern what's your intuitive voice and have it speak to you more often. My name's Eliana Camargo and I'm the Healing Fairy, so let's define first exactly what I mean by intuition. Intuition is your gut instinct. Like when you know that a situation or a person is good or bad for you without any external signs to give you a hint. Everyone knows that the gut instinct is very real, but intuition goes even deeper than that. Intuition can tie us to the knowledge of the universe. Whether that means communicating with God or angels, or if it means tapping into the oneness that is everything to gain insight about life. Anyone can gain guidance from the universe. Intuition lets us gain glimpses of life from a bird's eye view of the timeline of your past or future. Like seeing your life from a higher perspective. It's not just special fortune tellers who have this ability. Everyone is a little bit psychic. Have you ever thought about someone and 1 minute later they call you? How did you know they were about to call? Or you have a feeling that you should check your email, and then the message you've been waiting for arrived exactly then. That's your intuition, your sixth sense, or your third eye. So how do we strengthen this ability so that you can tap into it more often? Well, first, let's start with how to differentiate intuition from fear. Our gut instinct will often tell us when a situation is bad for us, but sometimes what feels like intuition is just fear. If you've never learned how to distinguish the two, it can make you lack trust in your gut. But just like you weren't born knowing how to read, you can also be taught the difference between fear and intuition. It's actually pretty simple. Intuition will always feel peaceful, whereas fear comes up as an emotion. Even if the intuitive thought you get is about something bad, it'll still always come up peaceful. And then once your mind wraps around it, you might start to feel panic afterwards, whereas fear will always immediately come up as panic. It'll make you feel agitated, anxious, or erratic. It brings uncertainty, makes you reminisce on past bad experiences, or catastrophize about the future. You'll feel tense, your mind might race, and you could feel a heavy weight in your chest or stomach. But intuition, on the other hand, will feel like a sense of inner clarity, or a gentle pull in a particular direction. It's a unique, deep inner knowing. There's no urgency or anxiety attached to it. Instead, it's steady, like a calm presence whispering in your ear, guiding you from within. Not screaming in your ear like fear does. For example, maybe you're walking down the street and you feel a nudge that you should cross the street for no particular reason. And then right as you cross, a tree falls where you would have been standing. That quiet knowing was your intuition. So, now that you know the difference between fear and intuition, how can you strengthen it so that you can hear it more often and more clearly? Well, first, meditate daily so that you can tune into your inner voice. And if you suck at meditating, I made a 5-minute beginner's guided meditation that you can listen to right over here, or it's linked in the description. But the point of meditation is to become the observer of your thoughts. Instead of getting carried down a rabbit hole of your thoughts, it teaches you to come back to the present moment over and over. And in order to hear your intuition, you need a quiet mind, because intuition isn't logic or thought-based. It's an inner knowing. It comes to you when you've cleared your mind and you're in the present moment. The more you meditate, the better you'll be at quieting your mind. So meditating daily is essential if you want to strengthen your intuition. Second tip, when you get an intuitive hit, follow it. If you ignore your intuition, it'll learn that you don't listen anyway, so why speak up? But the more you start following your intuition, the more it learns that it's safe to be heard. Third, write down your intuitive thoughts and check to see if they come true. And then in the future, when you feel something similar, you'll be able to tell if it's your intuition or not. Over time, this strengthens your trust in your gut instinct and helps you recognize when your intuition really is speaking. Fourth, if you're not sure if something is your intuition, ask for guidance. Clear your mind and don't search for the answer, just feel into it. If the answer is yes, typically you'll feel light and expansive. And if it's no, you'll feel compression or heavy. Fifth, the more in tune you are with your emotions, the more intuitive you'll be. That's because the more aware you are of how your emotions feel, where they come from, and how they show up physically in your body, the easier it is to distinguish between the calm guidance of intuition from the nervous energy of fear. Sixth, get a fluoride water filter. I know this is a weird one, but studies show that fluoridated drinking water calcifies the pineal gland in the brain. And the pineal gland is the third eye. Fun fact, the pineal gland actually has structures that resemble photoreceptors like we have in our eyeballs, which may be why we can see visions or see energy. But if your third eye is calcified, that won't happen so easily. In America and a few other countries, our government adds fluoride to the drinking water because it's supposed to help prevent cavities. But now we have fluoride in our toothpaste, which makes having it in our water no longer necessary, as proven by studies. And in fact, some studies suggest it can even be bad for our health, such as competing for iodine absorption, which leads to thyroid issues. And of course, I'll link all these studies about the pineal gland and fluoride's effects in the description. Luckily, one of the very few good things that the Trump administration is talking about doing is removing fluoride from our water. So fingers crossed, maybe this won't be an issue anymore, but while it is, get a water filter that can remove fluoride. Most popular water filters like Brita can't do this because fluoride is a very small molecule and it takes a special water filter to be able to remove it. So I'll link some recommendations below. Not sponsored, this is just what I use. So some more fun facts about intuition. Intuition is the strongest around the full moon because the full moon is known to heighten our emotions and in turn our psychic ability. Because when our senses are heightened, so is our sixth sense. Our intuition is also strongest when we're near or in a body of water because water is a conduit of emotion and metaphysical energy. Intuition is also a feminine energy, but that doesn't mean that only women are intuitive. Both men and women have both masculine and feminine energy within us, like yin and yang. The more you're tuned into your feminine energy, the more intuitive you'll be. So even men can strengthen their divine feminine energy to tap into their intuition. So those are my tips on strengthening your intuition. I know not everyone is going to believe the depths of how woo-woo this got. I know I wouldn't have before my spiritual awakening when I used to be very atheist, that I've personally experienced and have had proven themselves to me time and time again. So I know this video will find the right person at the right time. It will only strengthen your intuition when you're ready to. And if you want to dive even deeper into the workings of your mind, I made a video all about what the subconscious mind is, how it impacts our daily life, and how to reprogram it, which you can watch right over here. But until next time, I'm sending you so much love. Bye!